Here's a sequence that I've been experiencing for the past few months. I make an argument, I back it up with evidence. What I think is the strongest piece of evidence that you can actually find on the subject matter. PlayStation fan responds and says that all of what has been said is not true. They come up with some reasons, and then we pretty much make a video about it. Rinse, repeat. This is how pretty much, somewhere, somehow, the Video Game Fight School channel has now become this so-called, thing talking about video games. So I appreciate the PlayStation audience. You guys really do, engage this whole conversation very deeply. And one of the best things about this is the more we have the conversation, the more and more people are enlightened. So yes, even though I may think that you might be misinformed, even though I may think that you probably are, in a sense, maybe attached to this box and evidence and data is not able to convince you, I still appreciate you putting your own, input in this conversation. So what do we have here? We know the industry shift and threat document out of the I would say plethora of documents that were leaked in the Insomniac hack showed that PlayStation understood Activision and Blizzard's acquisition to Xbox as something that was going to decimate their business. They also talk about exactly how Microsoft and Xbox's business is structured and pointed that because of their ecosystem, if they were to couple it with Activision, it was going to create a greater dominance over them. Meaning that there was already a base dominance because they didn't have the ecosystem that Xbox had. I say this in every video just to kick off the video. Then I'm going to show you the comment that I want to show you. An audience member says, Xbox isn't leading in anything. This isn't contrary to exactly what PlayStation has said. But look at the way this is framed, right? It says this right here. Sony's pillars are already dated and behind the competition. It says it right here. Activision provides incredible strategic value across live service games, scale, mobile, and all. And this says Microsoft's acquisition of Activision positions it to leapfrog our current pillars. When you leapfrog over something, you are ahead. But the comment says PlayStation isn't leading in anything, especially in 7 days. I don't understand. All multiplats will be better on the PlayStation 5 Pro, period. The PlayStation 5 Pro is a hardware piece that's coming pretty soon. And so far, what a PlayStation fan would tell me is that I'm going to play this game at potentially better frame rates. Hence, PlayStation is now getting some kind of a lead. You're telling a PC player, somebody who builds PCs for a mental break, that somewhere, somehow, a PS5 is going to play games better because it's a PS5 Pro. You have got to be kidding me. I think the straws that my fellow PlayStation fans try to grasp they're virtual straws. They don't even exist, which is the craziest thing. Then they said this, and everybody, do not hit yourself in the face. I know face palms are going to go up. They said this: Microsoft has closed so many great studios because they don't know what the heck they're doing anymore. This person is calculating the next 7 days for the PS5 Pro to come out. But they missed out on the last 3 days where PlayStation just closed 2 studios simultaneously. PlayStation, sadly, has closed more studios than they have first-party games this year. And this person pretty much opened their mouth to say this particular statement. Having been shown data, having been shown evidence that we were not supposed to see, but somehow we got to see, they're telling you that you should not trust your lying eyes. Then they gaslight, project exactly what PlayStation is doing, and say because Xbox did it, it means that there's a problem, while PlayStation did the exact same thing. If not worse, if you actually look at it in the past few years. Microsoft literally had to buy established studios because they can't make good games on their own. Okay, so PlayStation did not buy established studios. Like the one that just closed down the other day was not purchased by PlayStation. Is that right? So let's put it this way. Because PlayStation could not make good live services on its own, it had to buy established live service studios. Bungie would be probably one of them. See, my fellow PlayStation fans, we're going to make progress. We're going to make progress in this conversation. We have to go through, a lot of the craziness, though, but we will make progress. And it's very important that we do, especially in this conversation. You see, a lot of these, I don't know why, we have to regress every time in the thinking of this whole thing when they say, I'm sorry, Microsoft will never be on top like they were in the Xbox 360 era. I don't know what that era was like for the most part. I remember having an Xbox 360. Somebody gifted it to me, but I just played the Arkham games, FIFA Street, a lot of single player games. Never a Call of Duty player, was not playing Gears of War. Those games were just not my forte. And honestly, I don't care about the Xbox 360 days. What the heck does that have to do with the fact that PlayStation is now writing that Xbox and Microsoft are bodying us right now in the gaming industry? Where does 360 get injected into this conversation? Again, you have to drop your biases and acknowledge the problems. You see, for years, PlayStation fans dragged Xbox through the mud. They raked them over the coals, and everybody acknowledged the problems with Xbox. The one thing that I've seen is the PlayStation fans do not want to take the same approach to acknowledge the problems within PlayStation right now. But the problems, whether or not you acknowledge them, they're still there. If they're not there, their symptoms are still following you. They're about to launch a brand new console SKU and just close 2 studios on the front end of it. I mean, like, how can you remove the stink of that? I mean, you can't. So the PS5 Pro is going to reek of poor management leading up to it. And somehow people in the comment section, y'all say that I always try to, make it seem like PlayStation does everything wrong while the other side doesn't. No. I just respond to, some of the comments that we see here. And they're coming from PlayStation community members who are pretty much trying to abandon the reality of the matter. We know that the gaming industry is whack right now, but for somebody to come back and say this stuff, I've got to question it. What are the motives behind it? To me, it's a little strange. But I'll leave the comment section open. Thanks so much for watching the video. Appreciate you guys' time and audience. Hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.